The following Swallow On is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Hit that button. Good morning. I guess I do need to get my hair cut. Afternoon, evening. My name is Ron Chuck, and welcome to the program for the 17th day of July, 2025. Today, we probably have one of our last National League games that we'll have for you on the channel for this replay, anyway, as the Cincinnati Redlegs and Larry Jansen host the Brooklyn Dodgers and Sal Magley on a Friday night at Crossley Field in Cincinnati. What you missed in the one game day since we were with you on Monday was that the Chicago White Sox and New York Yankees played a doubleheader in New York, and the Yankees swept them. So I believe the Yankees are 2.5 now behind Detroit and all that as we go through, and as most of you have figured out at this point, we will pretty much focus on the American League the rest of the way. The Dodgers lead is down to 12, however, in the National League. I bring that up because at one point it was as high as 15. Don't know if that's any noise or over the last month of the season, can Milwaukee make another run? I figured, way back when I said, let's do 1956, that the Redlegs and the Dodgers and the Braves, all those games would matter an awful lot when they played each other. Well, for the Redlegs, they're 20 games out of first, so the answer is no, not really. But it does matter for the Dodgers. The Dodgers still, though, 80-game winners as we played the late part of August, 1956. That's the setup for you. We are with you tomorrow on Friday for our Friday afternoon game. Dodgers and Redlegs next. As Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1956. Today, from Crossley Field in Cincinnati, Ohio, it is the Cincinnati Redlegs and the Brooklyn Dodgers. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalTheDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find Dave on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, wherever else fine podcasts are listed. Before we go to the game screen, I think my volume got tampered with. Yes. Yes, it did. You know what? Something sticking on my keyboard, too. How are you, Greg and AP? Glad to have you along. The Dodgers, this is game 118 for them. They are 80-37. The Redlegs, this is game 122 for them, and they are 62-59. Larry Jansen, come on, open up, making his third of 7 starts. He's 36 years old, been in town about 2 weeks. He came up on August 9th. This is the games of August 24th, so a little more than a month ago. He is 36 years old, not 81. Ron, fastball at 81, a fly ball pitcher, 1-0 with a 2.77 ERA. His last appearance came against the Pirates, a 1-inning affair 3 days ago. 20 pitches, a hit, and a strikeout. So his 2 starts came against the Braves. He won the second one of those. 13 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs, 4 earned. He's allowed 2 homers. He's walked 2 and struck out 8. Aaron J.K. really is kind of the big red machine a few years early. This team can mash. What they can't do is pitch. Here's the Dodger lineup for you. Jim Gilliam in left field will lead it off. P.B. Reese at short will bat second. Duke Snyder, who, by the way, I looked it up, finished 10th in the MVP race in real life in 56, is in center. He'll go third. Carl Furillo in right field cleans up. Jackie Robinson at second will bat fifth. Roy Campanella behind the plate batting sixth. Gil Hodges at first goes seventh. So 2 through 7 all. I don't know if Furillo's in the Hall of Fame. He probably should be, though. Randy Jackson at third will go eighth, and Magley on the mound goes ninth. Jansen can give you 130 pitches. Defensively for Cincinnati, Frank Robinson a 9 and a 5 in left, Gus Bell a 6 and a 6 in center, Wally Post, a toasty taste to you every morning, a 5 and a 7 in right. Alex Grammas, speaking of big red machines, the Sparky Anderson's coach for the longest time, is a 7 at third, Roy McMillan a 10 and a 10 at short, Johnny Temple an 8 and a 9 at second. They are very good up the middle. And Big Clue, Ted Kluszewski, is 7 at first. Ed Bailey is your catcher. He's a 7 and a 6. Larry Jansen is a 2 on the mound. That's not great. With a 1,000 fielding percentage. The kid from Dayton's rooting for the Redlegs? Gosh, color me shocked. Gilliam at 291. Oh dear, this is going to be a blowout. 3 homers and 37 RBI. Duh. Does Nurse Britt put up with your attitude like that? Pitch to Gilliam. There is a base hit left center field. Robinson cuts it off, and that's how this one starts, a single. For Pee Wee Reese, hitting 283, 6 homers and 51 RBI. Rick says Furlow's not in the hall, but then it took forever for them to get to add Dave Parker. It's sad enough that Dave had been so sick the last few years he was alive. He got in through the Veterans Committee and died a couple weeks before his induction. He didn't even live long enough to see it. Him and Richie Allen. I would have to look at Furillo's numbers. When you get to the point where just everyone gets in for a certain team. Carl was on that team forever. I believe he came up around the same time that Pee Wee Reese did, so certainly a member of their good play in the 40s, and they're running the 50s. Pitch to Pee Wee is a slow chopper. This might be a bunt, as a matter of fact. No, it's a ground ball to Kluszewski, who touches Reed gently on the shoulder. 1 out, and that was a bunt. 1 out for Duke Snider. That outcome box is pure gaming pornography. A 487 batting average and a 23% chance of a home run here. Aaron J.K. says best logo in MLB history. Which one, the Reds? Snider, if you're not familiar with his amazing story here in this replay, hitting 350, 46 homers and 128 RBI, and that's all. This is a Triple Crown year for Snider. Jansen closes his eyes, delivers, fly ball right field, Post will turn and watch that one fly to Dayton. My word, Snider just crushed that one, and it's 2-0 Dodgers. Yeah, the Reds. So Snider hits his 47th to make it 2-0. And you kind of have to wonder on this 24th day of August. There's 5 weeks left in the replay. This is game 118 for Brooklyn. Does he have a chance at Ruth? The closest we had was in 49, and it was Ralph Kiner with the Pirates, and I believe he hit mid-50s. Snider, because we go as played, and Brooklyn is supposed to be struggling, or at least in a dogfight to the last day, Snyder's got a decent chance. Is Duke Snider originally German? I don't know where he's from. I thought he was from California, to be honest. 299 lifetime average with 192 homers and 1,910 hits, but lost 3 years to military service. Furillo, that puts him in the Cecil Cooper Hall of the Very Good, I would think. But kind of like that, there are players who just kind of drive the engines on teams. I think if that was a shortstop and not a corner outfielder, you can make a better case. Speaking of which, Furillo at 322, 15 homers and 66 RBI. That is a chopper down the third base line. fair ball. That's a fair ball. Robinson thought it was going to bounce foul. Gramus, again, not great at third, and that's Furillo's 27th double. And before the Redleg fans could grab their Skyline chili in their huddle pools, it's 2-0 Brooklyn. Here's Jackie Robinson. Jackie at 291. 12 homers and 34 RBI. Gets away from Bailey on a ball, and Furillo stays put. So 1-1 count. In this era, my friend, I think that most of, if any, foreign ball players, they're going to be Cuban. Sandy Amoros, for instance, on this Dodger team is Cuban. Pitch to Robinson, 1-1. Fly ball, left field. Jackie hits one to Frank. Frank going back. He's climbing the hill. And that ball is going to be a long, loud strike. So 1-2 the count. How you doing, Paul? Good to see you. Well, so Jansen just trying to get out of the first inning here. 1 out. Pitch to Jackie. That is also, again, hit to Robinson. Robinson to Robinson. Frank retreating. But I think that will stay in the yard. The wind is blowing out to left at 5. It's a warm afternoon night here in Cincinnati, 85 degrees. And Robinson made that. Yeah, what you see in that box in the right is their own play-by-play. It's not what I read to you, but that's what's there. So Jansen with a 1-2, long fly ball toward left. Chasing back is Robinson on the track. He's waiting, and he puts it away for the out. Furillo holds up to second. So yeah, that text you see in the lower right there is the game's play-by-play. 2 out for Campanella, hitting .217, 13 homers and 47 RBI. Fly ball, left field. Robinson moving over in the corner. And that will do. So, Dodgers get a mammoth 2-run homer from Duke Snider. 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave a runner on. Half an inning in the books. Brooklyn 2. Cincinnati nothing. And Aaron, unlike the question you asked me last week about sales, this game doesn't need shipping. It's an instant download. Has often has sales, and the seasons are really cheap. Sal Magley, the barber, is 39. Came over back to Brooklyn on May 16th, making his 18th of 26 starts. 9-7 with the 3.32 ERA. Fly ball pitcher, fastball tops out at 82. His last appearance, as my Bobby Brady voice kicks in, was a 6-2 win over the Phillies 6 days ago. 7 innings, 126 pitches, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a home run. He walked 4 and struck out 5. He shut out the Cubs on July 28th and the Cubs with a 4-hitter on June 26th. 135 2/3 for Sal, 100 hits, 53 runs, 50 earned. He's allowed 19 homers. He's walked 48 and struck out 72. Aaron, do you follow any other North American sports? The lineup for the Redlegs. Johnny Temple leads off at second. Frank Robinson in left field will bat second. Gus Bell in center goes third. Ted Glazewski at first will clean up. Wally Post in right field will bat fifth. Ed Bailey behind the plate will go sixth. Alex Gramus at third batting seventh. Roy McMillan at short goes eighth. Jansen on the mound batting ninth. And Magley can give you 125 pitches. What do you follow? Defensively for Brooklyn, Randy Jackson is 6 at third. Pee-wee Reese at 8 and a 7 at short. Jackie Robinson a 6 and an 8 at second. Combined, Pee-wee and Jackie are 75 years old. Gail Hodges a 10 at first. Jim Gilliam a 6 and a 6 in left. Duke Snider can do no wrong. He's an 8 and a 7 in center. Carl Furillo a 6 and a 10 in right. Roy Campanella a perfect 10 and a 10 behind the plate. Baseball, hockey, and football. Well, Action PC sells all those sports. And Sal Magley is a 7 on the mound. With a 1,000 fielding percentage. Temple at 283, 2 homers and 42 RBI. And the cat is already at it. Pitch to Temple. There's a line shot to center. That'll drop in front of Snyder, and Johnny leads off with a single. So a good start for Brooklyn. Frank Robinson at 262, 29 home runs, and 75 RBI. Yeah, after about 1 o'clock, Paul, the skies are supposed to open up here. It really was too hot to stream yesterday. The lights are on here today. They were not yesterday. It was just brutal. And so for that, we'll be with you tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, and 6 Central European time. The lights are on and somebody's home. Well, I wouldn't go that far, Paul. Oh, the cat's home, that's for sure. Pitch to Robinson. Temple on first. Line shot to Jackie. It's like they know each other or something. 1 out for Gus Bell at 277. 21 homers and 80 RBI. Warm day in Cincinnati, 85, or warm evening, 85 degrees. Winds blowing out to the scoreboard and left at 5. Bell popped up. Randy Jackson almost on the grass. 1 out. I would agree with that. I'm not going to say that out loud because I get yelled at, but I would agree with that, Aaron. Klazuski at 286, 30 homers and 89 RBI. If you're looking for like an APA, yeah, I know who you were talking about, Paul. You weren't talking about Cold Ron and Hot Sarah. An APA clone that's free that you can print out by yourself. NPNG Plus. I don't know. Someone can put that in the website, which is an APA style game, and they've done a lot of work on it, and all the seasons are free. Klazuski at 286, 30 homers, and 89 RBI. Currently 80 in Tirana, but with the Humidex, it feels like 95, which is what it always feels like in the Maple Leafs front office, especially in the first round of a playoff series. 9-game inning streak for Big Clue. Magley deals. That is into left field. Gilliam moves over in the alley, and Jim will make the catch, and that will do. 1 inning in the books. Reds get no runs. Redlegs, rather. 1 hit and no errors. After 1, 2-0 Brooklyn. 82 and sticky in Ohio and overcast. Yeah, it's all supposed to break here today. So Hodges, Jackson, and Magley to face Larry Jansen in the second. Hodges at 294, 20 homers and 81 RBI. And now here's a look at the weather in your part of the world this morning. Argos are struggling in their quest to repeat winning the Grey Cup. How far in the season are they? They can't be too far. Somehow Jim Mora has channeled himself with Greg. Playoffs? Are you kidding me? Playoffs? The number of people who play tabletops in this country, Aaron, is pretty low, too. Oh, week 6. Oh, tonight's game 6. So it's what, an 18-game season? So you're a third of the way through? Pitch to Hodges. There's a fly ball, left field. Robinson comes in. McMillan comes out. Frank will make the catch, 1 away. Randy Jackson at 287, 6 homers and 48 RBI. Fly ball, opposite way, post will go back to the wall. Is he going to get there? He will. I thought that was gone, but it kind of died. So 2 out from Magley, hitting 143 with 5 RBI. Now, for Aaron's sake, It's not the Reds in 1956, it's the Redlegs, because the country is still scared of anything by the name of Reds being communist. And the Cincinnati Ball Club did not want to be considered the Cincinnati Commies. So they changed their name to Redlegs. And in essence, it was Red Stockings, as opposed to the Boston Red Sox, which was shortened to Reds. And so someone will tell me what year. I think when they won the pennant in 61, they were the Reds again. But in 56, they were the Redlegs because they didn't want to be communists. Bagley at 143, fly ball, popped up rather. Temple waits for a rainmaker on this warm night. Johnny behind the bag will make the catch, and that will do. An inning and a half in the books. Dodgers go in order. Brooklyn 2, Cincinnati nothing. They were the Reds in 61. I used to do that in the newsroom all the time as part of my voiceovers. You worked? Oh, that's right. You worked for the CBC, didn't you? It caught me a bit. The Jim Moore a bit. Okay, Scotty's here. Red Hots. They called her Lucy. 36 years. Okay, wow. And as Greg would tell you, Lloyd, that's the kind of day it's been. Wally Post, hitting .247, 24 homers and 66 RBI. And Turkey, American sports, especially football, hockey, and baseball, have become the most played sports in the universities and high schools. Ice hockey or field hockey? Because they're two different things. I'm not surprised about football. And you've talked about baseball before. Pitch to Wally. There is a hard shot to Pee Wee Reese. Over to Hodges. And Wally is retired. One day, Peter Mansbridge, for those of you who don't live in the great Northeast or Canada, Peter Mansbridge was the Canadian, I was going to say Peter Jennings, but Jennings was Canadian, was the Tom Brokaw of Canada. He was the lead anchor, except for a couple years when they tried to match him with poor Pamela Wallen, on their nightly news broadcast, The National. And Peter had the voice and the look, but he did not have the hair anymore. Anyway, Mansbridge thought we had Jim Morey in the newsroom. Playoffs? You talking about playoffs? Is there a New Orleans Saints game going on in here? Or was he with the Colts now? Sundays on YouTube, you can find British college kids playing American football. That's cool. Ed Bailey at 280. 20 homers for Ed, by the way, and 50 RBI. Ice hockey? Really? How many rings you got in Turkey? Pitch to Bailey. There is a ground ball to first. Hodges is there. Gill can't make a play on it, and the Redlegs have a runner. That's awesome. Not that Gil Hodges made his 11th there. That is cool. Good for you. What did you did voiceover work? Were you one of the, what we would call a continuity announcer? Tonight on the CBC. Don Cherry hates everyone and everything. Tonight at 8. 9:30 in Newfoundland. Alex Grammas is hitting .263 with an RBI. He had 76 at-bats. 20 for 76 is coming over from St. Louis with 8 doubles. He can also bunt, draws the walk. So Grammas, the tying run is on. So first and second, Magley snaps the ball back in his glove for Roy McMillan, hitting .249. 6 triples, by the way, 2 homers and 34 RBI. We are just having a tough time today. And he walks McMillan. Well, Magley has lost the strike zone here in the second. And the bases are full of Redlegs. Bailey on third. Gramus on second, McMillan on first, and the good news for Brooklyn is that Larry Jansen's going to have to swing. He's 0 for 3 with an RBI. For radio and some shows in the newsroom as well as okay. Network or the 740 in Toronto. Even the national team won the IIHF championship for hockey, but I can't say the same for the baseball team. We are behind even in 1890. Oh, okay. I'll have to look it up on YouTube. The Fifth Network. Nice. So, when I was a later kid, we would live close enough to get 940 out of Montreal. And I would listen to Air Farce when they were on radio, which was their version of SNL. Not quite as funny as Second City or SCTV, but Air Farce, and they had another show on Sundays, and so I would listen to that. And just in case you wonder why I'm just as weirdo as I am. Don Cherry appreciated a good crunch cover from the 1970s so he could make it to his suite for hockey on Saturday. Yes, a couch cover from the 70s. You know, the reason why his shirts were always so high was he had a scar on his neck, I believe from his time with the Rochester Americans in the AHL. He got slashed, and it would show always. No, I wouldn't be surprised how many countries play hockey. Just don't know how many players you get from certain countries. Japan plays. Larry Jansen, by the way, is going to have to swing here. He does. There's a ground ball to Pee Wee. We're going to get two here. Robinson for one. Jansen's going to reach on the fielder's choice, and it's a 2-1 ballgame. So Jansen does his job and gets in the 6-4 fielder's choice. Johnny Temple singled his first time up. Magley opening 9, 29 pitches, hitting in 2/3, a hit and 2 walks. They had a cot in the studio so Don Cherry could take a nap between games. That's cool. I follow soccer some. I was surprised when Chelsea beat PSG. I used to have, we've talked about Nurse Brit on the channel. Well, I have my own versions of Nurse Brit, and I had one LNA that was a huge soccer fan, and so I used to watch a lot of soccer highlights. Pitch to Temple, who singled his first time up. That's a base hit into right field. That's going to drop in front of Ferrillo. Gramus scores. Jansen scampers on to third, and it's a tie ball game. Scotty's not going to speak to me now. 2-2 the score. Here's Frank Robinson. Frank is 0 for 1. Yep, during the Euros and the World Cup. AP says last week there was a hockey tournament in Montreal, and the countries participating were Greece, Puerto Rico, Lebanon, and Jamaica. Is that a junior tournament? Where do they play? Laval? That's where the Habs AHL team now plays. Okay, so Scotty asked if Greg ever crossed paths with legendary Vancouver sportscaster John McKechnie. Yeah, the Euros, World Cup for soccer for me too. And Greg said a couple of times. So 2 out, runners in the corners. Bagley in the bind here in the second. Fly ball to Gilliam in left field. Robinson put a charge into that one. Gilliam waiting by the wall will make the catch to retire the side. Wow. Bagley's walks hurt. 2 runs, a hit, and an error. We go to third. Brooklyn 2, Cincinnati 2. The Greeks won the tournament. Okay, cool. Did you watch? Are you in Canada? How you doing, Barb? It'll be the top of the lineup for Brooklyn. Gilliam, Reese, and Snyder. to face Jansen. 29 pitches, 2 innings, 3 hits, a home run allowed, and both the runs are earned. Gilliam singled and scored on the Snyder homer in the first. Fly ball, right field, post. Going back. I think Mr. Cathy is right. I believe this is slowed down some. Pee-wee Reese reached on a fielder's choice. No. Oh, he bunted. Sacrifice bunt his first time up. I'm doing well. Thanks, Warm. JM referred to British Columbia as the California of Canada. Reese hits a ground ball to third. Gramus has it over to Kluszewski. And Big Clue is on the bag, and Pee-wee's retired. Here's Snyder. 2 out. I wonder if we're downloading an update. Snyder homered his last time up. He now has 47 on the year with 130 RBI. I think there's some truth to that, sure. Barb reminds me that there's a new episode of Digital Dice out. Dave and Vinny, I believe, talked about playing newer games last night. Snyder swings. That's into center. Bell. Something is really slowing this down. So you're going to get the trouble screen for a second after 2.5, 2-2. What is slowing this down? We are really, really slow. Well, we don't need that open. We don't need that open. See if that helps. I didn't seem to change anything. Gus Bell, not George. Gus is 0 for 1. That is past Robinson into center field, and Gus leads off with a single. For Kluszewski, who's 0 for 1, Teddy has a 9-game hitting streak. Both teams now have 3 hits. Magley deals. Struck him out. First for Magley in the evening. Brings up Wally Post, who's 0 for 1. Todd B. Interesting fact on Delphi, Roy Face appeared in 9 straight games. You could probably do that in this game. Maybe not. Out of the pen, I would imagine. That would be a heck of a... wow. 9 straight. I think the computer would glitch out. Pitch to Post. There is a line shot to third. Jackson is there. Makes the catch and Bell goes back. 2 out for Ed Bailey, who is 0 for 1. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored. 2-2 here in the third on a chatty Thursday. Popped up. Campanella takes off the mask, goes to the screen, and drops it. His 8th error of the year, a straight drop. And Bailey gets a reprieve from the governor. So an 0-2 count. I saw on Parallel League on Jeopardy that Robert Frost, the poet, wrote an article for Sports Illustrated about the 56 All-Star Game. That wouldn't surprise me. Sports Illustrated always hired tremendous writers. I was not one of them. Pitch to Bailey. Struck him out, and that will do. Redlegs get a hit and an error, and they do not score. After 3, 2-2. I was going to wonder who you're rooting for, Mr. I always pick the road team. How you doing, John? It'll be Furillo, Robinson, and Campanella to face Jansen here in the 4th. Carl doubled his first tub up. Base hit right field. So Post will pick it up, and Furillo is 2 for 2. But you picked Brooklyn? That would be the smart pick. Jackie Robinson 0 for 1. Furillo on first. And Jackie drops one down, but that will bounce foul. And the count goes to 0-2. That's who I was thinking of, Todd. Not necessarily Sid Finch, but George Plimpton, who wrote the Sid Finch article. It was one of the greatest April Fool's jokes ever. Ever. Fly ball, left center field. Robinson, and Frank will corral that in front of the scoreboard. That's the first feature on the drive through tonight. Drive in the night. Kramer versus Kramer is the second. 1 out for Roy Campanella, who's 0 for 1. Darrell Knowles did pitch in all 7 games of the 73 series. However, there was 2 off days in there between 2 and 3 and 5 and 6. Campy 0 for 1. Up the middle, past Temple into center field. So Bell throws it back in first and second. Now 5th hit for the Dodgers for Gil Hodges, who's 0 for 1. I don't know, John, if that's the truth. I think you're right. Didn't it spell out April Fool's with the first letter of each paragraph? Something along that line gave it away. But I remember as a kid, I got Sports Illustrated that particular year, and I think it was my dad who broke it to me that the Mets didn't find someone that made Dwight Gooden look pedestrian. Mr. Waterfield, fun game to see Larry Jansen on the mound for the Redlegs. He was very familiar with these Dodger bat. That's right, he pitched for the Dodgers. Gave up a mammoth home run to Snyder. Hodges 0 for 1. Gill in the left center field. Gus Bell retreats. That is well hit. Gus is going to run out of Cincinnati for this one. It's gone. And a 3-run homer right on cue, and the Dodgers go up 5-2. His 21st of the year. Mr. Waterfield's timing is impeccable. But when you date Jane Russell, of course it is. Well, I was trying to grab a bite of pickle. I'll wait. We did brunch really early, and so bought a jar of pickles because they're low calorie, low carb. And I didn't get a chance to eat them both before we started. And if you're wondering, they are Vlasic, and it is the best tasting pickle you've ever heard. Randy Jackson is 0 for 1. 5-2 Dodgers here in the 4th. Pitch to Randy is a line shot past Temple into center field for a base hit. So Jansen out there throwing batting practice. Here's Magley. Sal is 0 for 1. Sid would have ended up with the Yankees. And traded to Seattle for Ken Phelps. Magley 0 for 1. Jansen's pitch struck him out. First for Larry. 2 out here in the 4th. 56 pitches, 18 batters, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 2 homers, and a strikeout. Jim Gilliam, 1 for 2, has singled and scored. Jackson on first, 2 out. That is a slow ground ball to first. Klozewski takes it himself, and Gilliam is retired. However, that is sour. 3 runs on the 3-run shot from Gil Hodges. 4 hits and no errors. Time to check standings. Dodgers 5, Redlegs 2. We have taken our time today. So the first team has been eliminated. I'm sorry, Chicago Cub fans, there will be no World Championship in 1956. Dodgers, magic number is 25. Their lead is now 12. The Braves beat the Phillies yesterday 7-5, while the Redlegs beat the Dodgers 5-1. Milwaukee 12 back, Cincinnati 20 back, and no one else is over 500. In the American League, as we said in the open, the Yankees swept the White Sox 10-2 and 4-1 in a doubleheader in New York. The Yankees are 3 back in 4th place. The Red Sox 5.5 back in 5th place. The White Sox 2.5 in 3rd. Cleveland now in 2nd, 2 back of the Tigers, who are 69 and 51. And if you're a Braves fan, like we know Matty Lockwood is, Milwaukee would be in 1st place in the American League. It'll be Grammas, McMillan, and Jansen here in the 4th. Alex 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. And Grammas gets hit. Aaron says the Reds aren't playing well. They're not pitching well, and Brooklyn is... This may be the best team ever I've had in the 7 years that we've done this replay. One of the sports writers for the Toronto Sun once wrote an article on April Fool's Day about the Maple Leafs signing Guy Lafleur, and every sentence started with a letter that spelled out April Fool's. I like that. Ken Phelps looked at some guy who should have been it looked like some guy who should have been an anchor man. Does it take a lot of work to add logos, player picks, ballpark images? Nope, not really. I've done videos on some of that, and this is actually the generic ballpark picture for Crossley Field. McMillan up the middle, right at Snyder, and can't get there. Grammas thought he'd made the catch and then had to run back to second as Duke couldn't quite trap it, or couldn't catch it. He trapped it. Runners on the corners for Jansen, and we're going to look to see what we're doing here, because Jansen is pitching like whale poop. So Bob Thurman will come in to pinch hit. Thurman at 259 is a pinch hitter. 4 homers and 14 RBI. 272 overall, 12 homers and 32 RBI. So first and second, Redlegs trying to keep this one close. And he struck him out. Could have kept in Jansen for that. So 1 out for Johnny Temple. Johnny 2 for 2. He has singled twice and driven in a run in the second. Magley, 18 batters, 56 pitches, 3 1/3, 4 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Grandmama's? That'd be Larry Johnson. Scotty says Ken Phelps came back to haunt the M's when he broke up a Randy Johnson no-hitter in the 9th inning with Oakland. Oh. Pitch to Temple. Johnny swings. Ground ball to Hodges. What's he going to do with it? Pee Wee Reese for 1. Hodges gets back to the bag, and they turn it. So a good 3-6-3 double play. The Redlegs threaten but do not score. Going to the 5th, 5-2 Brooklyn. So a new pitcher coming in. It'll be, it's going to go with Art Fowler. Art. 9-9 on the replay with a 3.79 ERA. Got a couple more starts left in him. 34 years old, but he's not going to start again until September. Fastball at 82 and a ground ball pitcher. His last appearance was against the Braves 5 days ago in an 11-10 slugfest, which the Redlegs won. 2 innings, 36 pitches for Arthur, a hit, a walk, and 2 strikeouts, 166 in a third, 188 hits, 81 runs, 70 earned, 9 homers, 40 walks, and 76 strikeouts. It'll be Reese, Snyder, and Furillo here in the 5th. Pee Wee 0 for 1. Fowler can give you 3 innings. Enough is going to be the case unless he struggles here. Pee Wee 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. Popped up McMillan, a rainmaker, on the grass, 1 out. Then Ken rode off into second, selling life insurance. I've told you my Don Maynard story, right, Todd? Duke Snyder is 1 for 2 today. I hope when Snyder wins a Triple Crown, he accepts the award and thanks D. Scott Howard for his just close your eyes and swing hitting method, because it's worked. Fowler deals. Right field, post. Way back there, Wally is going to... No, that is off the wall. Snyder's on with a double, his 34th of the year. And that's the 8th hit for Brooklyn. Carl Furillo is 2 for 2. He has single, doubled, and scored. Not a catch, Aaron. Pitch to Furillo. That is a base hit in the left field. Robinson will cut it off. Snyder, does he get caught around third? No, he's back. But Furillo has his 3rd hit of the evening for Jackie Robinson, who's 0 for 2. He has flown out to Frank twice. Do tell the Maynard story. So, as a kid in New Mexico, 79, 80, I'm in class, we're in a special class for those of us in that had issues. And the aide comes in and looks at me, this 8-year-old football fan that I was, and says, Ron, who made Joe Namath famous? Now, as a bit older, I'd have said some sort of pantyhose thing or Bruder Cody Furrier or something like that. And I correctly said, Don Maynard. And she said, would you like to meet Don Maynard? And 8-year-old me went, ah! As it turns out, Don Maynard lived in the El Paso, Texas area and sold insurance, I think it was life insurance or health insurance, to the teachers union in Las Cruces, New Mexico in 1980. And so I lost the autograph years ago, but I had a personalized autograph from Don Maynard. Pitch to Robinson. Jackie, this time it'll be into center field, drops in front of Bell. McMillan should have had it. Snyder scores, and it's 6-2 Brooklyn. I know I've told that before. For Campanella, Roy 1 for 2. He has singled and scored. Furillo on second, Robinson on first. And there's a ground ball to Gramus. They might get 2 here. Temple for 1 and Klazuski for 2. We'll speed this up a bit. Halfway home. Dodgers 6, Redlegs 2. If you joined us late, where the hell have you been? 6 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for the Dodgers. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Redlegs. Dodgers got 2 in the first. Duke Snyder now has a 10-game hitting streak. Hit a mammoth 2-run homer to right, his 47th of the year. to make it 2-0. In the second, the Reds send 7 to the plate. Larry Jansen's hit a fielder's choice grounder to make it 2-1, and then Johnny Temple, because I can read, singled home Alex Grammas to tie the ball game at 2. In the fourth, Gil Hodges hit his 21st of the year, a 3-run shot to make it 5-2, and then just a moment ago, Jackie Robinson singled to score Duke Snider to make it 6-2. Sal Magli, a 4-hitter through 4, 2 unearned runs. He's walked 2 and struck out 3. Larry Jansen was torched for a Christmas treed. 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned. 2 homers and a strikeout. And Art Fowler is in to pitch. Frank Robinson, Bell, and Kluszewski here in the 5th. Frank is 0 for 2. When Scotty was 14, Duke Snider managed our local A-ball team, the Tri-City Adams. He was great about talking with his kids about who went to practice in the afternoons. I think I read that wrong. Snider, by all accounts, is a great guy. Tri-City Adams. Hannaford? With 1 in. Pitch to Robinson. That's into right center. Snider moving back. Duke makes the catch, 1 out. For Gus Bell, who's 1 for 2 with a single. Walked him. I also met Darryl Stingley at that school, too, about a year after his accident. Kluszewski, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Bell on first. 6-2 Dodgers here, bottom of the 5th. On a chatty Thursday. That is laced to right. Furillo will make the catch, I think. Yep. Slides and makes the catch, 2 out. I don't know if Furillo's a Hall of Famer or not, but he's a pretty gosh darn good player. Wally Post is 0 for 2. Bagley deals. There is a ground ball to short. Pee-wee's got it and can't make the play. That's an error. That's the 3rd Dodger error of the ball game. And for Pee-wee, his 18th of the year. So 2 out for Ed Bailey. Redlegs threatening again. Ed 0 for 2. Has scored and struck out. Aaron rooting for the Redlegs. Bailey down the first base line, but I'm afraid that is foul. And somebody from Dayton made that catch. Count is 0-2. Bailey, right field. Crowd likes it. Back goes Furillo. Way back there. Is Furillo going to be able to chase this one down? He leaps. He makes the catch to retire the side. The Redlegs tease but do not score. No runs, no hits, and the error by Pee-wee doesn't hurt. They've left on 7 after 5, 6-2 Dodgers. Many of the former Dodger players were very nice to the young kids that used to attend Montreal Expos games. Well, as you know, Greg, growing up in Montreal for 1,000 years, they were the Dodgers AAA farm club. I think after a while, it became the Red Sox before the Expos were given the expansion team. But they didn't play at Jerry Park. Gil Hodges has a 3-run homer on his dance card today, 1 for 2. Now it's 21 home runs on the year. Ground ball to McMillan. Roy throws to Kluszewski for the out. One away for Randy Jackson, who's 1 for 2 with a single. That is a high ground ball to short. McMillan, off a hard hop, throws to first for the out. For Sal Magli, who is 0 for 2. That is a base hit in the right field between Kluszewski and Temple. Post will pick it up and throw it back in. Magli has the 11th Dodger hit. Everybody but Pee-wee has reached on a hit. And the only reason why Pee Wee didn't is because he bunted his first time up. Gilliam is 1 for 3. Junior has a single to run scored. Delorme Downs. Yep. That is a ground ball to short. McMillan over to Temple, and that will do. Dodgers threaten but do not score. No runs, a hit, no errors. Bottom 6, Brooklyn 6, Cincinnati 2. So Gramus, McMillan, and we'll see about Fowler, who now has 2 innings under his belt. Alex is 0 for 1, or 0 for 0. He has walked and scored in this one. There is a ground ball right side. That's a base hit. So Ferrillo will grab it, and that's going to hit the wall. As a matter of fact, Gramus is into second with his 9th double. Not known for having extra base hit power. Has 9 doubles now. Here's McMillan. Roy has walked and singled. He's 1 for 1. Only the 5th hit for the Redlegs. And he walked him. And now I got a pinch hit for Fowler. Aaron is getting his hopes up now. The Redlegs, however, have already used their best pinch hitter. So who are we going to go with? Who can hit a righty? It's going to be... Wow. All my choices are bad. Going to be a double switch as we got to burn Smokey Burgess. Smokey does not have a pinch hit, hitting .269 overall, 6 homers and 16 RBI. Gramus on second, McMillan on first, Magley deals, Burgess line drive to Pee Wee Reese, and he's got it. Everybody moves back. A leaping catch for Pee Wee, who's had himself a busy day. 1 out for Johnny Temple, who was 2 for 3. Temple has singled twice, driven in a run, grounded into a double play. Magley, 27 batters deep, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. It was the A's Farm Club from 33 and 34, the Pirates from 37, 38, and the Dodgers from 39 until their final season in 60 for Montreal. So no Red Sox. That might have been Toronto. I'm sorry, Tirana. So first and second, Temple, 2 for 3. Up the middle, Robinson takes it to the bag himself for 1. Over to Hodges. Got him. So, no, it should have been 2, but it wasn't. Temple beat it out. And here's Frank Robinson, 0 for 3. Magley deals. There's a ground ball to Reese, very deep in the hole. Over to Robinson, and now that'll do it. No runs, a hit. We've got to bring in a new pitcher. To the 7th we go. Dodgers 6, Redlegs 2. It'll be Tom Acker. We will take the awkward double switch because he's going to have to hit. But I have injuries on, and I have no other backup catcher, so Smokey's got to stay. Acker, 26, 3-1 with a 4.10 ERA, looking very happy. And that picture is the Polo Grounds behind him. Fastball at 89 and a standard pitcher. Last pitched in that 11-10 win over the Braves. On the 19th, he went 1/3 of an inning. A third of an inning he would like to forget for a long, long time. 26 pitches, 3 hits, 6 runs, 4 earned, a walk, and a strikeout. 68 innings, 55 hits, 33 runs, 31 earned, 6 homers, 30 walks, and 50 strikeouts. He could conceivably finish this one off. It'll be Pee Wee, Snyder, and Ferrillo to face Acker. Pee Wee 0 for 2 today, the only Dodger not to have a hit. And he'll remain the only Dodger not to have a hit. That's out to right center. Bell will corral it, 1 out. For Snyder, who has a double and a home run today, he now has hit 47 and driven in 130. Right back up the box, Acker throws to first for the out. Well, it was Toronto. The Royals have 11 players that ended up in the Hall of Fame, 7 players and 4 managers. Lasorda would be one of those managers. Alston would be a second. That last outing should have wiped the smile off his face. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, he went out with Captain Tommy Morgan of the Yankees and got plowed. Ferrillo is 3 for 3 today. He has doubled, singled twice, and scored. 2 out here in the 7th. There's a ground ball or line drive right at Temple. Stretch time, 6-2 Dodgers. So no runs, no hits, no errors for the Dodgers in the 7th. Still a ball game at 6-2. It'll be Bell, Klazuski in post. And Acker's going to have to bat as they face Sal Maglie here in the bottom of the 7th. Bell 1 for 2. Gus has singled and walked. Up the middle, base hit. They're not making this easy for me at all, are they? 6th hit for the Redlegs. Here's Big Clue, a 9-game hitting streak. Lasorda played for them, but he never managed them. Well, that would make sense because Lasorda, I think, was in Kansas City. So, 4 managers. Well, Alston, Pro Football Hall of Fame next weekend. And the football crew, the Apple football crew is going out in late August again. We'll see if Bolitnikov shows up. That was awesome. Klazuski's 0 for 3. Big Clue has struck out once. Campy and Maglie have a word. Maglie from the stretch. Popped up, left side. Jackson. Is he going to have enough real estate? There's a lot of room here, but Randy can't get there. And someone from Cincinnati makes the catch. 1-2 the count to Big Clue. Right field, that is well hit. Ferrillo going back, way back there. It's gone. 6-5. Klazuski put it in the back of the bleachers in right center. Big Clue with a big bomb, and it's 6-4. His 31st of the year. Hung it. Absolutely hung it. And Clue, with the sleeves ripped off of his jersey, muscled that one well into the seats in right center. Wow. So the managers, the 4 managers from Montreal, the Royals to make the Hall of Fame: Walter Alston, Ed Barrow, Burley Grimes, and Rabbit Moranville. Yeah, Big Clue. 2 weekends to the Hall of Fame. Wally Post is 0 for 3. Left field, Gilliam. That's well hit. For the out. 1 away for Acker, who can now hit with nobody on base. Tom, 3 for 16 and an RBI. Maglie deals, struck him out. Acker is there to close out the ball game. Here's Gramus. Alex had a double, a run scored, and a walk in this one. He's 1 for 1. So the Redlegs have 2 here in the 7th. 6-4 ball game. There is a ground ball to third. Jackson's going to get there. A long throw across. And Alex is retired. We go to the 8th. Cincinnati making this one a good one. 2 runs on the mammoth homer by Kluszewski on 2 hits, and after 7, 6-4 Brooklyn. Does APC have StatCast? They have the bad home run estimator, the old IBM tail of the tape, but we don't really. You want me to do in a 50s game, and Kluszewski, his launch angle was good enough that NASA liked it, so his launch angle was 27 degrees, and it left the bat at 102.5 miles an hour, which James Dean said, ouch, that will hurt. There's your StatCast. As players from Montreal, to get back to that, Roy Campanella, Roberto Clemente, who was taken as a Rule 5 player from the Dodgers by the Pirates, Jocko Conlon, who goes in as an umpire, right? Don Drysdale, Wade Hoyt, Jackie Robinson, and Duke Snyder. Speaking of which, Jackie Robinson 1 for 3, a single and an RBI. And there's a high ground ball to third. Gramus waits, throws. Watch the spin rate on this. I believe he put 5 or 6 revolutions per minute on there, and Robinson's retired, 1 out. For Campanello, 1 for 3. A single, a run scored, and grounded into a double play. I'll watch some golf videos every once in a while, and they'll do the spin rate on a golf ball. Like, how could you slow that down enough to count it? I get club head speed and ball speed, but to have a laser point that out in how many revolutions per minute is just nuts. Campy strikes out. Acker got him, 2 out here in the 8th. For Hodges, 1 for 3. Gill had that 3-run homer in the 4th, which made it a 5-2 ball game at the time. Say, kids, you want to know what I'm going to be doing for my replay next year? There will be an 8th season of Retro Sports Network. I'll let you guess. I think I know what I'm doing. Well, I never know what I'm doing, but what do you think I'm going to do for a project next year? Pitch to Hodges. There is a line drive to third. Gramus is there, and that will do. After 7.5, no runs, no hits, no errors. Dodgers 6, Redlegs 4. McMillan, Burgess, and Temple to face Magley here in the 8th. Roy singled and has walked twice. Sparky Anderson played for both Montreal, the Royals, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, the baseball team. And in Toronto was managed by Dick Williams. You see his pictures of Sparky when he first came up with the Reds in 70 as a manager, and he looks 90 years old. I don't know if he just smoked a ton or had a very hard childhood or what. I think when they went to the 75 series, wasn't he all 38 or something like that? McMillan, 1 for 1. That's into left field. Gilliam will run over, make the catch, and there is 1 out. 84 was thought of, but not 84. Sparky should be listed as a player, but it's not. Smokey Burgess is 0 for 1. Although there is a co-op project, by the way, if you guys are interested in joining that. I think they're only in May, so plenty of baseball left there. Aaron, have a good night. Anyone else want to guess besides Todd? Popped up. Pee Wee Reese. On the grass. Makes the catch. 2 out for Johnny Temple, who was 2 for 4. Johnny has singled twice, driven in a run. Magley, 36 batters, 118 pitches, 7 2/3, 7 hits. A home run. He has walked 4 and struck out 4. Sparky was 51 and 75. Okay. Oh, what? I'm 53, okay? And I'm not the most attractive dude in the world. I'm not going to say that. but I'm 53. You look at Sparky. So I am older than Sparky Anderson was when he managed the Reds in 75 and in 76. What did we do to people back then? I don't know. Paul says, yeah, we're only in May for the co-op. It's a lot of fun. Currently the Jays lead the East. They're 21-3 on the road. Wow. That's incredible. And that's a bring your own engine game, right? Or early June, but still, that's pretty good. Yeah, he looked old. Sparky didn't dye his hair. I don't dye my hair. I mean, seriously, with all the things that I could ask for, with this wonderfully efficient body that I have, do you really think that I would say, oh no, let me keep my hair, let's not have any hair left, but let me keep my hair my natural color? My nose hairs don't come in that color. My ear hair doesn't come in that color. I'd rather have an arm that works personally, but nope, I was given hair color that doesn't change. Temple is still 2 for 4. Any reliable card and dice game? Do I remember the show The Way It Was? Are you on that one, Greg? That is a fly ball, right field, Ferrillo. Going back, Temple hit this one well. Ferrillo makes the catch. Got Aaron all excited. There we go, the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors. Dodgers 6, Reds 4. And since I keep popping on, we'll just do it this way. Todd B is right. This'll make RJL quite happy. And Phil Rea. And Barbara, too. And so, for the 40th anniversary of 1986, we will do 1986. That is the 2026 Retro Sports Action PC replay season. It'll be 1986. If I could survive Dwight Evans and that 8th inning of Game 7 against the Reds in 88, I can take 86. So that's what it'll be. Starting in January of 26 will be the 86 baseball season. So we'll have done, in the wheelhouse, we'll have done 78, 85, 86 is coming, and 88. So there you go. Adjust your calendars appropriately. You get to see my heartbreak again in real time as we do 1986. Go Astros. Jackson 1 for 3 as we play the 9th. Oh, I have seen those, Greg. They were on ESPN Classic. You're welcome, Barbara. As a Red Sox fan, it kills me, but sometimes you must slay your inner demons. Jackson swings a ground ball to third. Gramus has it over to Klazuski. And Ted is retired. Or Randy's retired because I'm paying attention today. It's been too hot. Bagley 1 for 3. Let's see what the Dodgers do with him. Sal has singled and struck out. Tell me what you've won, Johnny. You've won a year's supply of cremettes, the turtle wax, and an all-expense-paid trip to Puerto Vallarta. You and a friend will fly Brigadoon Airlines to Puerto Vallarta and stay 2 weeks at the Hilton Puerto Vallarta. Well, you'll have a continental breakfast every day. Go pick your own lunch and lounge by the pool. All courtesy of Kindner's Corner. Plus, if you hit the suit, you might also get a suit from Abraham Strauss and a watch from Bulova. You just want a trip. Nope, you gotta take the turtle wax and the cremettes, Barbara. Magley will not stay in. Sandy Amaros will pinch hit. Amorose as a pinch hitter hitting 087 with an RBI. Overall, 245. 9 homers and 36 RBI. And as Scotty Harump said, I pick a bad Dodgers here. Remember, if the Dodgers win this World Series, they will be the first team in the history of the RSN Action PC replays to win 2 World Series. Something the Yankees have not done yet. Pitch to Amorose. There's a fly ball left field. Robinson going back. Sandy got all of that one. He slices it the opposite way, and Frank will make the catch. 2 out. For Gilliam, who was 1 for 4, a single and a run scored. Front page challenge. You know what? There's some of those on YouTube with Gordon Sinclair. They had some fun on that show. You can use the turtle wax as you take the sun by the pool. you want the beef or the chicken, Rice-A-Roni, Todd? Gilliam swings. That's a fly ball right field. Post. That's well hit. Something opened up on my computer because we slowed right down again. Wally makes the catch, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. Reds 2 to tie, 3 to win. Clem Labine, my 409, coming in for his 24th save. How about that? Dodgers 6, Redlegs 4. He had the A's and the Reds on there once a few years after the 72 series, and Sparky said, I think we were the better team. Dick Williams responded with, we beat you without Reggie Jackson, and I don't remember seeing you in 73. Woo, doggy. Jeremiah, you made it for the last 2 minutes. So Labine, and if we give the Dodgers the pennant, as I think it's a safe thing to do, in the 7 years that we've done this, the Dodgers will be playing in their 3rd World Series. Clem is 30, 4-1, 43rd appearance. He has a 2.30 ERA. Fastball at 87 and a standard pitcher. Todd is being obsequious today. Clem last pitched on August 21st, so 3 days ago, against the Cardinals, a 12-9 win. He faced one batter on 2 pitches and picked up a save. 62 2/3, 52 hits, 17 runs, 16 earned, 5 homers, 15 walks, and 32 strikeouts. And Todd, your showcase begins with a fur coat. Dicker and Dicker of Beverly Hills gives you a nice, simple brown mink because, as Boss Gaz is, what do you think, a gentleman wearing mink? And if that wasn't enough to get you thrown off the Barker prices right, we'll give you a lifetime supply of McDonald's. Food, folks, and fun to all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. And finally, a brand new Toyota Tacoma. And this showcase could be yours if the price is right. All right, let's get this done. Robinson, Bell, Klazuski to face Labine here in the 9th. Frank 0 for 4. Jeremiah wants Simon Eyes, and Scotty wants Diane Parkinson. Bob was playing Plinko long before the real game. You know what? It occurred to me as I'm doing this, because we're taking forever today, that here I am in my own room doing a bad impression of David Letterman, doing a bad impression of Vin Scully, doing 2 teams that played pretty much 70 years ago. It's a weird world, isn't it? Robinson's 0 for 4. Robinson's 0 for 5 as Labine struck him out. A 1-2 inside for Gus Bell. Gus 2 for 3. He has singled twice, scored, and walked. Holly was my jam too there, Greg. Todd wanted the showcase. You got to ask for this stuff, Barbara. Got him. Labine has 2. So last chance saloon, a full count fastball. Got him. So Kluszewski, who homered in the 7th to make this a ball game, 1 for 4. He's now had 31 on the replay for a 91 RBI. So Labine 1 out away from save 24 in the 81st win of the year for the Dodgers. He winds and deals. And that's up the middle. Snyder can't get there. So Kluszewski reaches with a 2-out single, and the tying run is Wally Post. Bob was doing something right. Lived to be 99. His house is for sale again, Barbara. If you want to have a spare $8.5 million or live out in Beverly Hills. Wally Post is 0 for 4. So Labine trying to wrap this up, but Wally, who has good power, the tying run, and if Wally should reach, we will pinch hit. Struck him out. Labine takes out the side, and the Dodgers win it 6-4. No one was ever going to accuse, how you doing, Summer, Barker of being a Boy Scout. It took us an hour and 21 minutes to do a game that took 2 hours and 15 fake minutes. But you guys are in a good mood today, so we'll go with it. Dodgers win it. They go to 81-37. 6 runs, 11 hits, and 3 errors. They leave on 4. That's efficient. The Redlegs fall to 62-60. Poor Aaron missed the end. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and they left on 10. We'll give Gil Hodges the MVP because it was his mammoth 3-run homer in the 4th that gave the Dodgers a 5-2 lead. Magley picks up the win. He goes to 10-7, 8 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned, a home run. He walked 4 and struck out 4. Labine picks up his 24th save. He got struck out the side around that single from Kluszewski, the lone hit. And so the Reds, Legs, Jansen, go back to watch golf. We'll see you tomorrow, Greg. Extra fielding practice tomorrow for Brooklyn. Yeah, you can tell them to close your eyes and swing, but you probably can't tell them to close your eyes and catch. Jansen falls to 1-1, 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 2 homers and a strikeout. Art Fowler, a good 2 innings, 4 hits and a run. It was earned. And then Acker, a perfect 3 innings and a strikeout. 9 up, 9 down. So, what do we got for you? The rest of this Friday in baseball for you. And hopefully, heat-wise, we can actually do a Monday, Wednesday, Thursday week next week. The rest of this Friday, the 24th. Red Sox beat the Indians 6-4. Tom Brewer, 12-10. Mike Garcia, 10-8. Ted Williams, 3 for 4, hits his 19th. The Cubs beat the Giants 5-3. Kaiser, 5-11. Hoyt Wilhelm falls to 5-7. King, maybe it's Larry, 3 for 3 with a triple and a double. Kansas City pounds out 5 home runs and outscores Washington 14-6. Kretlow, 6-8. Pedro Ramos, 8-7. Power, 3 for 5, hits his 9th, drives in 2. Baltimore stuns Detroit 6-1. Connie Johnson throws a 2-hitter. He goes to 8-5. Hef falls to 12-7. Connie struck out 9. Al Kaline, the lone run for the Tigers, his 22nd of the year, 1 for 3 with a walk. The Yankees are 2 back. They beat Chicago 8-4. They've won 3 straight. Cux 15-8. Harshman falls to 12-7. Andy Max Carey hits his 7th, 2 for 4 with 4 RBI. Pittsburgh beats St. Louis 4-3. Waters 3-0. Murray Dixon 10-6. Foils 1 for 2. Hits his 4th and a walk. Warren Spahn wins his 17th. He beats Robin Roberts, a 3-hitter. 5-1 Milwaukee over Philly. Roberts falls to 8-17. Joe Adcock 2 for 4 with his 24th. Tomorrow, we will have for you the White Sox and the Yankees, Dick Donovan and Whitey Ford. Until then, I'm Ron Juckett. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a wonderful afternoon. See you tomorrow, everybody.